So we have Dominik versus Strider, some filthy nerds versus some beaten up Khemri, actually. If anybody saw the last game, a couple of Tomb Guardians died. So it'll be interesting to see what inducement Strider brings to this game. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It should be a good game, and we'll see how it goes. He's taking some time over inducements here, and I can see why. Because you want to make the most of your money while you've got it. But on the Khemri team, you've got a few stat freaks there. It'll be interesting to see what he does. And as before, with Khemri, a blessing of 2 AG3 throw Ras, or anointed throwers. Apologies. So we'll see what happens. I wonder how much he's going to foul as well, and wonder how much the regen's going to work. Again, Dom's team, the Nurgles, they've got some stat freaks as well. I've got a decent ball carrier. I've got a similar one to that. Block Beast, always good having a Block Beast around you. But we shall see what happens. The Legend bloaters there. They're going to be tough to stack up against, but hopefully the Khemri strength will see through. We'll see, shall we?
Yeah, and Dominik receives.
Yeah, keeping the Tomb Guardians back. So he's obviously bought a Merc Tomb Guardian. Sindbad, which is as a surprise. I'm not sure I'd have taken Sindbad and a couple of babes. I don't know. I don't know. Would you have liked seeing Ramtut out, Krista? You're a bit of a Khemri player. What would you have done?
I don't know. I like Ramtut. It adds a lot of strength to the team. And I think that this is going to turn into a relatively bashy game. Ramtut would probably have been a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I think I'd have gone Ramtut, and I think you're right. I think it will be a bashy team. A bashy game. Apologies. My head's all over the place today. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. It all depends on what Dominik can play quite reserved sometimes. But he's very, as we all know, he's very methodical in his gameplay. So
Yeah,
we'll see what Strider does here.
In the previous match, Dominik was playing very passively at the beginning, just taking the ball and taking a couple turns to bash. I think that's his game plan now as well. And we'll see what Strider does, because that can be really tough for Khemri teams sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing is, you've got 2 good coaches here. 2 good coaches. Strider's a former major winner, I believe, isn't he, with humans? He did indeed, Flix. Thank you very much. I wondered what that was. I'm glad I found out now. So, big, full, fat lineup from Dom. Let's get some cash on the go. See what happens in this first turn. You've probably got to fancy his chances of taking 1 or 2 out at least.
Yeah,
obviously.
and I mean, from a starter's perspective, placing the expandables on the line seems a reasonable thing to do with Khemri. He just has to hope that not too many of those get taken out in the first turn.
Yeah, of course. I was when I play Khemri, I tend to think, oh, they're strength 5, they're pretty invincible, and I just stick them on the front line and see what happens. Not always the best way to go.
No, that's really dangerous. So we saw that in a Goblin game yesterday, where the Goblin team had a lot of strength on the line, and that cost a lot. 2 of the high strength players got taken out in the first turn. And I mean, even if you put Tomb Guardians on the line and you don't get pushed out of the field in the first turn, they're still stuck at the line, and they can't really control play. So I'm much more comfortable with this kind of setup with the Tomb Guardians in the back.
Yeah, then you can utilize them, can't you? See where the play goes, tie some players up.
It gives you inherently a bit more movement. You can move your strength around. Ooh, interesting.
Positive of that is you only get 1 hit on the line of scrimmage. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah, indeed. And a deep kick, so Dominik is forced to take it a bit easy. It's going to take a turn or 2 to gather up and catch up.
Strada makes a comment about he doesn't even need to mark block, claw, mighty blow on the bloaters as they all have them. So that's 4 pretty hefty strength 4 players on the pitch there, and 1 being strength 5, I believe. Yes. Okay, that's a Tomb Guardian out on that first blitz. Only knocked out, but still he's off the pitch, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult for the Khemri.
Obviously,
he's
the rookie
skillless,
one, but
skillless, but it's still strength 5 player on the bench.
Yeah, with 4 stuns, the first couple of turns are going to be really difficult.
He is pushing forward, and that's interesting. I mean, it's kind of against Khemri. There's not a massive threat there, is there?
No, but I think that Dominik is pushing forward just to surround him, and at this point to just go into the fight, leave that for a while and fight and try to take out another player or 2 before he starts pushing for the touchdown.
Yeah, I think you're right. It'd be interesting to see what he does with the top flank and what will the Khemri do with only 6 movable players on the pitch.
Yeah, to me it feels can't really do much. I think he has to stay passive and just try to save players until the stuns come back. He can't really, I mean, if he splits up the team, he's just going to be run over, I think.
Yeah, I still can't get over my head that I think I would have chosen different inducements. Strada knows what he's doing. I'm not saying he doesn't. Just I think when it comes to, I guess, that many inducements, that I'm a big card fan as well. I do like to play a dirty trick now and again. I think that can change the game significantly sometimes if you get the right one.
and leaving the star player in the reserves.
I think what he'll be trying to do as it's stab, he'll want him on the front line when the Nurgle set up on his offensive drive. But that's an expensive free stab to leave him in a very vulnerable place.
I think from Strider's perspective, if I was playing that team, I would probably at this point be trying to more or less just stay back, not try to push anything at this point. He doesn't have the manpower to do that.
Absolutely. You just want to stay out of tackle zones, not keep anything too open, which is good positioning from him, really. I mean, it's a very straight line of players there, but there's not any clear way round. Probably trying to force him north. That's my gut instinct, way set up. But we'll see. And you're right, there's not enough manpower there to do any real damage, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and for Dominik, I think that he's going to continue bashing for another turn or two before he tries to do anything interesting, with the ball at least. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, from his perspective, if he can take out another player or two, that's going to be really, really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Dominik's ball carrier, I've got one on my Nurgle team. With Dominik's ball carrier, he's quite agile, even though he's not got dodge, but with the two heads and the extra movement, he's really quite nimble and mobile. So he can spend a couple of turns trying to get into position. It's an interesting blitz from Dom there. I don't think he marked that properly. Why he went for a one dice blitz there, I'm not entirely sure. But we've all been there. We've all made that mistake.
Yeah, maybe he didn't think of the plus strength there.
So it looks like Dom's going to move his ball carrier here. And he's just going to tuck him away nicely. Let's hope the beast stands up. We'll probably just screen a little bit here. I don't think he'll fully cage, but we'll see what happens. I think standing that beast up would be... Will he move him? I don't know. Yeah, just stand him up there. Keep it nice and safe. Still feel like it's a bit of a tentative start from Dominik. Whether he's just testing the waters and see what Strider does.
It's very similar to the previous game that Dominik played, though. He was very cautious with the ball. He didn't do anything super aggressive to push forward. Just he was content staying back and fighting for a while. Just trying to get some players out of the pitch.
Well, that's a good strategy for Nurgle, so we can't argue. Mr. T is absolutely right. There isn't really a lot for Strider to do here. Try and blitz a pester, get the mobile players out if you can.
Yeah, like Flex is saying, the play style of Dominik is not really exciting to watch, but it's really efficient. It really works. He's playing a strong game at this point so far, in my opinion. and he did last match as well. It's really solid. It's not that risky. He just focuses on the strength of his team and tries to take out the opponent, and then just play safe.
Absolutely agree. He's in a real strong position. He's kind of dominating the positional play here. Have to say though, that's partly because of the pitch invasion on the first turn.
So I mean, Strider is this turn he can stand up some players, and then next turn is basically his first real turn, and he didn't even stand them up. So yeah, he's basically giving the play away to Dominik, in my opinion, which is fine, I suppose.
Yeah, it's one of those questions, isn't it? Is it a valid tactic? Because you don't stand up your players, does that mean you're not playing competitively? There's an argument to say, well, actually there is, because I want as many players as I can in the next drive, and it's clear that I'm not going to win this drive.
Yeah, and I mean, from his perspective, if he can get to half, being 0-1, that's not terrible. That's more or less the expected outcome from the first half. So if he can manage that, that's great.
Yeah, and now Dom's committed to the north side of the pitch, which is he'll have plenty of players to cover as well. But it might give Khemri just a chance to put a bit of pressure on in the next couple of turns. We're already on turn 3. So it's not all done and dusted for the Khemri just yet.
No, I think that you can probably bash a bit, maybe tag out a player or two, maybe in a few turns put a bit of pressure on the ball. But I think that he's content with just giving Dominik the touchdown at this point and focus on the second half. If Strider can take one player to put a bit of pressure on the ball, Dominik will have to respond with more than one player probably, which gives Strider a bit more strength to do the fight in the middle. And maybe that's the game plan for him at this point, and not do any serious pushes for the ball. At least I think that's what I would be thinking in his spot right now.
Yeah, I think try and do some damage.
But I really think Strider needs to stand up the players on the line.
Well, the danger with not doing that is, first of all, you leave one of your best players open for a foul with assists. And second of all, you leave people open for blitzes as well. One of the core rules that I learned very early on was that you've got to make the other person roll as many dice as possible.
Yeah, and they both have reserves, so he can sacrifice a couple of skeletons just to tie up some players and possibly get a lucky break at some point, and then get a few blocks in.
With the players down, he's not even making Dominik think. But Strider may have an ace up his sleeve somewhere. He may have an idea that we aren't seeing at all.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a 5+4+ surf opportunity with a 1 die, but quite risky. I probably wouldn't do it at this point. Maybe if it was later in the half, because then at that point you might as well try. This early on, you're just risking losing your player.
I don't think he'll do it because he re-rolled the foul appearance, and there was no. He would have saved the re-roll, I think, if he was going to do that. But yeah, it was certainly on. But that is a risky play. Seen them done though. Seen them done. Now we have a few more Nurgle players tied up.
Yeah, and a gathering of strength for the Camry team in the middle bash.
Yeah, and this is what I thought might happen in terms of because Dom's committed north now. Will the Camry actually get a chance next turn to maybe just either drive him back or make him make a decision to go further forward? Or the decision making's got to be done now, which is what it wasn't there before.
And I think the Strider has recovered from the pitch invasion relatively well here. It took him a couple of turns, which is, well, that's what happens when players are stunned. But he's in a relatively okay position here, in my opinion. Of course, that can change quickly if the dice go one-sided.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got both Pestigors pretty tied up. Well, regen, that's okay. But now we'll see. There's a little bit of a gap there. Okay, Dom, just for I think a bit of safety, has just took the ball carrier back a bit out of the way. Which sensible move. You don't want to leave your ball carrier open at any point, really.
And again, it's turning out to be super similar to last game from Dominik. Just taking the ball to a safe place and then bashing and trying to get players off the pitch.
Yeah, I would call it clinical. It's a clinical strategy.
Indeed. Maybe not super exciting to watch, but I think it's a solid style of play. He's definitely playing to win the game.
As an Englishman, it reminds me of the German football team. Not exciting to watch, but they do the job. I think Strider here is trying to put that blitzer in a position where he could maybe threaten the ball next turn, at least get him in range in case there's a sprint up the top, but I don't think he really will.
No, I don't think Dominik will push forward. He's going to wait another couple of turns probably, but putting the pressure on the ball carrier from the Camry team is definitely the right thing to do. It forces Dominik to change something and just decide what he wants to do.
And at least there's a dirty player out, trying to foul that fair strength 4 throw raw, which you'd want to be doing, because as soon as he's out, it certainly makes a difference second half if he's out of the game. Have you had a strength 4 AG3 Khemri thrower before, Krista?
I don't think so. I've had a few agility 3 ones, and I had a few plus strength ones. I'm not sure I've had them both at the same time. I might have. I've had a lot of camera teams.
Well, the odds are they will have come through at some point. Strider making a remark about that he doesn't play high TV that often, and whether it's common that players just keep lying down against Dom's teams.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I like that, really. I think Strider could stand up some players. I mean, yes, you're risking them to be knocked out and taken off the pitch, or be injured, but he has the bench. He has the reserves. He can afford to lose a couple players, especially skeletons.
Yeah, I certainly would be standing them up. I don't understand the process, the thought process behind that, but I don't know. Maybe Strider will comment on it in Discord later on, or if he hears this, he could maybe give us some insight to it. Maybe it's just as simple as he doesn't want them to get hurt, like we've discussed. Oh,
yeah, like that.
There we go, and that's exactly what we wanted. That's a good foul, and that changes the game significantly.
Yeah. And that's why I would have wanted him to stand up the players, because that would have reduced the probability of that happening.
No, absolutely. If he's on the floor, he's going to get fouled. If he's not on the floor, yeah, that's a big disappointment for Strider, I think. Although he's got another AG3 thrower on the bench, you're going to want to stick with your strength 4 one, aren't you, for obvious reasons. Yeah, Strider's comment, he says, I figure I can get away with with your offense with a reasonable amount of players and look myself into overtime. Who knows? I wonder if that's a bit of insight into where his game mindset.
Yeah,
before it started.
I think he went into the match expecting to lose, and that's never a good mindset to have. I think that he needs to understand that he can actually win the bash against a team like this. Yes, he needs a couple of good dice early on, and the pitch invasion didn't help in that respect. But he, in my mind, he did the first 2 turns pretty well. He recovered from the pitch invasion, but then he basically just gave up and didn't stand the players up.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some rough luck with the pitch invasion. There's another snakes for him there, but still, it's about pushing to the end, isn't it? And I know sometimes you fall into that trap of whether you go on tilt or whatever, and you just think, it doesn't matter, just get the half over with. But there's still a chance. Sometimes you still got to fight. So we're coming up to Strider's turn 6. Dom is comfortably in the lead. Well, will be in the lead here. He's in a very dominating position. Strider's lost one of his key players to a foul. I don't think there's a lot more he can do this half. I think he's just going to have to ride it out. But stand the players up.
Yeah, and the question is he able to switch around to actually think that he has a chance? The way that he's talking, saying that he needs luck to go into overtime. I don't like that mindset. He needs to get that out of his system and understand that it's at halftime. Yes, he lost a couple players, but he still has a pretty decent chance to actually push when he's on initiative in terms of the fighting.
Yeah, and I agree. And again, we had another one dice blitz there from Dominik.
Maybe getting a bit overconfident.
I can never tell whether what kind of mood Dom is in. He's very. I've never had a bad experience with Dominik. I quite like the guy. But yeah, one dice blocking. I haven't seen that since Arrested Development did it on me.
Yeah, and at this point, he doesn't need to do one die blocks. He's just making mistakes. Both of those one die blocks were completely unnecessary.
Yeah, just a bit complacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Strider made a comment of it's still not marked with players. Maybe just having a little jab at Dominik there. It looks like Strider's trying to target the bloaters to take them down. He's been trying to hit the one with the niggle for quite some time now, but unfortunately, with no joy. Yeah, I see that's another big hit there. Hopefully he will come back with the knockout rolls. Bought 2 babes, which was wise in hindsight, I guess. And Dominik scores, is 1-0 up.
Good KO rolls.
Yeah, good KO rolls. And actually, depending on what happens with this line of scrimmage, if let's say he takes all 3 rotters out, that's not going to be a bad position to be in.
Yeah, that seems a bit unlikely though, but could happen. Could happen. They're all rookies.
I've seen it happen. Even taking 1 or 2 out is going to help.
Yeah, Dominik has one reserve, so he takes out 2 players here. He's going to be a player up in the second half.
Okay, here we go with the kickoff.
Oh, not that it matters that much, though.
No, it doesn't. It's too far away to do anything anyway, but it's always the way.
Oh,
There's
we go.
one. Yeah, so we just need 2 more to make a difference here. Probably foul as well. You got enough reserves for a foul, so you may as well try and foul one rotter off the pitch.
Yeah, I should. Because at this point, Dominik doesn't have any reserves. Yeah, he has the dirty player.
Yeah, he should foul because then he's going to have to stick. Well, it'll be interesting to see what he does with his line of scrimmage on his setup. He might, well, probably just go full strength. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, odd choice to not use the dirty player there, but okay.
I don't know about you, Christopher. It feels to me that Strider's head's not all in this like it usually is.
No, I think he gave up the first half a bit too easily. He could have made some more impact there. He could have taken out another player, maybe. He definitely has the player advantage in terms of how many reserves he has, so he should have taken... he should have done something with that. And he didn't. He just folded over because of the pitch invasion, and then just let Dominik just take over the whole half. That's no good.
Strider realizes himself that he maybe should have used the DP. Okay, so Dom's set up with some rookie players. Well, 2 rookie rotters and a wrestle Pestigore on the LOS. So any cash here would be pretty tasty for Strider.
And even a KO.
Yeah,
would
even
be
a KO.
pretty good.
Just people off the pitch would help, just to make the drive easier to run with.
Yeah, I think that his objective here is to gain a player advantage, and he needs to do that early before Dominik has a chance to retaliate.
And Dom's setup's quite deep as well. And he's not using Sindbad for what I thought he would use Sindbad for.
Now with Dominik's setup here, Strider should definitely be bashing. Not worry so much about the ball. It doesn't matter. Dominik is no threat at all.
It's safe.
But he needs to take a player out. A bit unfortunate with the block dice here.
You know, there's no real there's no danger at all on the ball. So maybe going for a foul. But then if you get sent off and you don't... Oh, it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah,
but foul or not.
Still agility 3. It's relatively safe with the sure hands. But yes, he should definitely do the foul with the dirty player.
Now, will this entice Dom into making contact with those Khemri players? Or will he just pick ones off?
Yeah, Dominik seems to be playing safe. Doesn't need to push forward into contact just yet. So he just plays it safe. Again, not very exciting or interesting, but probably the correct play, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. You may as well let the Khemri come to you. This is nice play by Dom. Covering both flanks there, really. There's not really anywhere to push through. Plenty of strength on both sides. I'm not sure what I'd be thinking if I was Strider at the moment. I wouldn't know what to do right now.
Yeah, I think that for Strider, it's he has to play the slow game. Dominik is effectively forcing him to. Seems like a slight shift to the north, and maybe he's hoping that Dominik will overcommit and push further up with more of his players.
Yeah, possibly. I'm just deciding whose Strider is going to foul, whether it will be the Pesty or the Beast. It looks like it's going to be the... Oh, I don't know. We shall see. May as well have a pop at the Beast. Ah, no. That's not what he wanted at all, no. That's always the danger when it's 11 on 11. You suddenly find yourself 11 on 10. Right play, though. I think that was the right move. I'd have done exactly the same thing. Certainly would have fouled the beast. Just unfortunate dice.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the beast foul. I would probably have been tempted to do the Pestigore, just because of the additional extra bonus rolls, well, bonus on the roll that you get.
Yeah, I know a couple of you, like Gritter and Asti, are agreeing with you. For me, it's the risk thing, isn't it? If you manage to take that player out, that's a lot less to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much about. I mean, yes, the Rot Spawn is a strong player and tough to deal with, but being one more player up means a huge amount as well, especially for Camry. I mean, you can just place a skeleton to deal with the Rot Spawn for a few turns, and then that becomes a complete non-issue.
So, Krista, can you see this going to overtime?
Possibly. I don't think Dominik is pushing forward towards the ball in the way that he should. So I think that Strider definitely has a chance to score. I mean, it's not going to be quick, but he has a way to. There's certainly opportunity to just push forward slowly.
Yeah, I see. I think Dom's defensive play here is all about. I'm not even sure he's trying to go for the ball at all. I think he's just keeping him back.
Yeah, and sure, that's a safe way to do it, but you're more or less relying on Strider to not get a couple of lucky armor rolls and just get through through the defenses. Dominik is very heavy with players to the south at this point, and I think the Strider can definitely swing up north from where he's standing now. All his Tomb Guardians are free to move, and shifting those up is going to give him a huge strength advantage at the northern part of the field. Especially if Strider is prepared to sacrifice a couple of skeletons to just tie Dominik's players down. Although I'm not super happy about his choice of star player. Sinbad has done absolutely nothing this game.
Yeah, we touched on that when we first started the game. I think we were both a bit surprised by Sinbad's appearance.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he should have used him more. Use stab at any chance he gets, just to get some value out of the star player. Right now, he's not doing anything.
Yeah, Gritter, I couldn't work that either. He didn't move him at all, did he? Oh, that's good. Yeah, okay. So we're back to even numbers now. We have the Pestigore out with wrestle, so that's never a bad thing.
See, I would have tried to tie down a few of the players, of Dominik's players that are further south, and sacrifice skeletons. That's what they're there for.
But think of their families, Krista.
And again, I don't like that choice. He needs to tie him Dominik down. The way that Strider's playing, Dominik is given free rein to move. And now it's much easier for Dominik to just move, shift up north, and defend.
Yeah, I agree. It's given Dominik certainly the opportunity to just scooch around a little bit there up north and just put a bit of a screen up. Although hitting with the beast first is always a bit risky. Not first, but early on.
I mean, this just allows
Unless you roll
Dominik...
double powers.
Yeah, and that helps too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And I mean, this way it just allows Dominik to take advantage of the fact that his team is a bit quicker, and he's not getting penalized by having strong players being away from the action. I think camera teams need to use their skeletons to tie down the stronger players and reinforce the strength advantage that they have with the Tomb Guardians. But Strider is not utilizing that at all, in my opinion. He should be more, less scared of having his skeletons get killed or KO'd or whatever.
Because that's what they do. They get killed.
Yeah. And that's fine. I mean, that's why you have reserves on a camera team. That's why you have to do that. You have to somehow use your cheap players to tie down valuable players, preferably away from where the action is. And if you can do that as a camera team, you're in a really good spot, because then your Tomb Guardians, your Blitzross can dominate the part of the field where the action is actually happening around the ball.
I think this has been Dominik's longest turn. It's another big hit there, player off the pitch. Another Tomb Guardian off the pitch. So it's looking really quite drastic now for Strider. Although that failed go for it helped.
Yeah. But Strider is in a position now where he has to do something, and doing something with the ball as a camera team is a bit of a scary thing. I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to go forward up north?
He's going to have to go up north. Yeah. So whether he tries to blitz the beast, rot spawn, and cage up a little bit up there.
Yeah, possibly. He better hope for a good roll on the rot spawn. If he can't take that rot spawn down, that's a scary place to be as well.
It's almost like you can hear Strider's brain ticking over.
Yeah, but I don't see any other way to go than to take the ball up north. He can't stay where he is. He can't go south. Going backwards is, yeah, that would be suicide. He wouldn't be able to score if he went back. So he has to go up, and that means that he has to take out the rot spawn. I think there's just no choice.
Yeah, And also have a free stab with free stab with Sinbad, as he's done nothing so far.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what he needs to tie down the rot spawn at this point. Then is that what he's planning?
Either that or try and stop a player getting to the rot spawn. I don't know. I can't see his plan yet.
Yeah, the passing play, like Joe Carros is saying. Not very easy. Yeah, I mean, he would move the blitzer up first and then pass to him. But no.
I really can't see where this is going.
Yeah, and he's, yeah, okay, so he's tying down the rot spawn. But now what?
Ooh.
Trust in Blodge, I guess. Okay, so it looks like Strider is taking the option just to kind of get the ball carrier up there. Trust in Blodge. I kind of like the way he screened that. We'll see. We'll see what happens here, because if he gets the dice, or if Dominik doesn't get the dice, he's not in a bad position.
I think he's going to be swamped and lose the ball.
Maybe Sinbad's going to show what he's worth now.
Yeah, maybe. And that's exactly what I mean with the bloater just blocking the skeleton, the wrestle skeleton. Nothing happened. That bloater does nothing, and it's a really, really scary player, and it's completely out of the play.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it worth the reroll? I think that's what Dom's thinking. Should I do a saving for OT? I'd reroll that. Okay, now we have an interesting dilemma, don't we? No more Sinbad.
6 dice without a POW.
I had 8 dice against RBTHMA earlier on his Wood Elves. Couldn't get a POW. I never know how to pronounce his name. I will call you RB. Ha.
So this situation doesn't look too horrible for Strider. And yeah, it's super tempting to surf the 2 players up at the top.
It is really tempting. I think you've got to... Ooh. Okay. Well, he's going for it. Oh, he's not going for it.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a big hit. Shame about the regen. Do you know what, that was interesting?
What does he do with the ball now? Is he going to dodge?
I think he's going to dodge out. 3+ with reroll.
Yeah, if he makes the dodge, then sure. And rolling a 6 helps.
Although he's left him in an awkward place again there.
Yeah, that Pestigore.
I think I maybe dropped him back square at least.
Oh, that's a tough call. Do you reroll that?
No. Yes.
Apparently you do. Oh, he has to... No, he needed to stand up those players. I think he's being too careful with and too afraid of being hit. There's 2 players who could tie up a couple of Dominik's players here. And I think that he needed to do that.
I think his plan is, I think he's going to score next turn. I don't think he's going to stall this out.
Yeah, well, at this point, he's going to be forced to. He has one more chance in his next turn to score. After that, he's going to be swamped. Because he just left 2 players completely out of the action. And let Dominik just push forward.
Oh boy, okay. Oh, there's the power. That isn't the play I was expecting. You got to try it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, at this point, it's still relatively easy for Strider. It's a break tackle with the Tomb Guardian for 2 dice. And then picking up the ball and 1 going for it. So not a super complicated touchdown to do it from here. But he can't stall. He has to do the score now.
Oh, okay. That leaves no reroll for the go for it. So we'll see what happens here.
Fairly safe anyway.
Yeah, pretty safe. Ha.
Okay.
At least he's got the ball.
And Strider is saying that he wanted to stall anyway. I'm not so sure about that.
No, I don't think he did. I think it's just Strider's sense of humour coming through there. I think Dom's going to try and get that diving tackle bloater on the ball. Oh, he's not. Okay. And the rot spawn's really stupid, so there's a half decent chance here now.
Yeah, that really helps.
Would you have blitzed with the Pestigore there? Would you have blocked the blitzer away? And then had 2 dice on the ball carrier? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I would maybe have been tempted to put the rot spawn in on the ball carrier.
Yeah, you could have had... If the dice went right, you could have had the rot spawn above the ball carrier just to the right of him. And you could have had the diving tackle bloater just underneath him.
Yeah, but then again, with a 1 on the really stupid roll, the bloater is probably... sorry, the rot spawn is happy where he's standing. So, there's that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what do you do here? If you're Dominik, do you just go for a 1 die and hope for the best?
I think you put a tackle zone on him. Which then makes him roll the dice, not you. But that's me thinking like Dominik. Me, I would probably blitz with 1 die, yeah.
He can't use the reroll here. Or he can.
I can see what he's trying to do there. Yeah, okay.
So that was a really, really good turn for Strider. He still has the ball. He can touch down from here. And Dominik used his last reroll.
He did. I can see what Dominik was trying to do there. He was trying to push 1 dice push onto the tentacles of the bloater on the wing. But it looks like we have overtime. Yeah, so Strider scores. Scores now 1-1, 1 apiece. It's going to take some time for Dominik to set up. Not Dominik, Strider to set up, and then Dominik set up. But when we come back, I'm just going to go and get a quick drink because my throat is very dry. I'll be back in a second.
Sure. Yeah, like Astafuk is saying, Strider has 12 players, so he has some spares. Well, a spare, whereas Dominik only has 10 players at this point. That might obviously change in the last turns of the second half. And of course, Dominik actually has 2 turns to try to score, which could happen. I don't see it as very likely, but it certainly could happen.
What did I miss?
Nothing much.
I think I agree with Asti in a way. I think Strider does have a chance now in overtime.
Yeah, we're just saying that Dominik is with 10 players. He has 2 turns to score, but I don't think he's going to. I think Dominik is going to try to bash and get more players out and just hope that he has the strength advantage in overtime.
And he's going into overtime with no rerolls either.
Yeah.
So, that's a biggie as well. I was surprised he used that last reroll.
I mean, it's not impossible that he takes out 2 players of a Strider so that we have 10-10 in overtime. So we'll see.
A blitz would be nice, wouldn't it? Just to liven things up a bit. So do we think? Oh, I'm not sure. I think you're right, Krista. I don't think Dominik's going to try and score here.
No, I mean, he has the Pestigor on the line of scrimmage who could run through the center if he has good blocks on the skeletons. But yeah, it doesn't seem very likely. I think Dominik is just trying to bash, hope for the best, and go into overtime. Especially with a kick like that.
Yeah, that's a great kick for Strider. Okay, so that's a good start for Strider. The end of this half. He's still got people on the pitch, no casualties, no knockouts. That's the best he could have hoped for, really. Oh, yep. That's it. Yeah, okay. So let's see if Strider can do some damage now. Yeah, it looks like there's a surf on that strength 5 bloater.
Yeah, if Strider can take out one player so that Dominik goes into OT with 9 players, that would be an incredible result for him for this half.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a bit of a
Right,
shame.
that's a little shame. And well done for not being tempted to use your reroll on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. That would have been a terrible, terrible reroll.
I think I would have re-rolled it.
The only thing I don't like about this setup is that his thrower is in a vulnerable spot. The thrower can be blitzed, and that's a bit scary since he doesn't have any other ones.
Okay, so... Oh, okay. So the Nurgle are receiving 10 versus 11 this drive. We'll see how Dom plays this. I think he'll play it quite conservatively again. I think we'll see a pretty much a bit of a repeat of the first half in terms of this calm, collected, clinical approach to his drives.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if he can take out a player. I think that Dominik wants to take out one player off the pitch on the line and stun another one. That is probably a pretty good start for him.
Poor old Dom. He does get a bit of a bad rep, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, then again, if you're playing a game where it is sort of boring and predictable, it's not super fun for the spectators to watch. And
No,
I
you're
understand it's not super fun to play against either. So I understand why people sort of like his opponents sometimes and cheer for the other guy.
And also, I agree. I understand that as well.
But I mean, Dominik is playing a strong game. You can't fault him for that. I think he's doing exactly what he should be doing. I think his
he's
overall
playing
play
very
is good.
strong. And also, you know, Kemri are unforlorn, aren't they? So people will cheer for the team that they want to see win a major.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm always cheering for Kemri.
Well, absolutely. I know you're a big Kemri fan, Krista. So we're very similar to setup to the first half. Big bash time on the front line. Tomb Guardians kept back wisely. I'd like to see them tie up some more players here. Will we see another pitch invasion? How random would that be?
Yeah, I think Strider would not like that. Oh, okay. Bit of
That's
luck for
okay.
Dominik
Both,
there.
yeah, and they both get a re-roll.
Yeah, and I think that Dominik won more from that. Because at this point, it's relatively safe to take down the skeletons at the front. A double skull is not going to ruin your game, basically. Which it could have with 0 rerolls.
Okay, so we're now 10v10. And a block from the rot spawn. Looks like Dominik's committing already to the north flank.
So backing off or caging in the center?
I don't think he knows. I think that's why he's paused. Oh, he's gone for it. Okay. Oh, this is interesting, I think. It's not the play I expected from Dominik.
No, that's aggressive. And I think a bit risky.
Oh, now we're down to 10v9.
There's a lot of strength up there with the 2 Tomb Guardians.
See, if I was Strider here, I'd be using those. I'd probably even use that. Oh, I don't know. One of the Tomb Guardians to tie up a couple of players down there, down towards the bottom. Those Skellies to tie up players. Then it only leaves him really with 4 or 5 active players if you can tie those players up. If you can get that strength up there.
Yeah, but we'll
I wonder
see.
if he's gone north. Yeah, I wonder if he's gone north as well, just to stay away from the strength 6.
Maybe.
Great tackle, Tomb Guardian.
I mean, it helped that he took the northernmost player off of the line of scrimmage as well. But yeah, I really would like to see Strider tying up some players, but I have a feeling that he might not. He hasn't been for the entire game, pretty much. He's not using his players in that way.
And it's happening again that Dominik gets to move here. He gets to move all his, well, a lot of his key players into position again.
Yeah. I would have placed that, stand up the skeleton, do something. I mean, even to the point of using the rookie blitzer to tie up something like the rot spawn. I think that's a fair trade in terms of team value.
I agree.
And this just gives Dominik the ability to choose where the play is going, and he can dictate the play.
Having those two Tomb Guardians up the top, though, does force him maybe down a little bit. Just takes the wind out of his sails a little bit.
Yeah, it's not super easy to get through those.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to switch it up here, and he's going to move south eventually, I guess. Dominik moving that Pestigore there next to the beast was the right decision. If he hadn't have put that extra square in, I think he would have been open there for a blitz from the strength 6. Okay, looks like we're having a bit of a break here. Strider's got some real life to tend to, so we can take a bit of a break here, Krista. So tell us about your changes to the site at the moment.
Just I've been doing a bit of changes to the CSS file. Changing some. The major changes is in the team page, and a lot of people are super confused about what just happened.
Yeah, I've seen that on Discord. It's been quite entertaining.
More or less, I'm unifying the team page so it looks a bit more similar to the overview pages. And yeah, some people don't like it.
Well, is there a reason why some people have it and some people don't?
The updates, you mean?
Yeah, so for example, I've got 2 laptops running at the moment. And when I use Firefox, on one of the laptops it works. On my other laptop, it's so the team page, I don't get the green bar, it's just grey.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what that is.
And I don't get the red writing either.
Some weird caching issue? It shouldn't be.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Everything works. It doesn't really matter that much. Just while we have a moment as well, just may as well tell people that the next major coming up is the XFL Masters, which you'll be invited to if you've won one of the recent XFL games. You'll hear from Cyrus Havoc or Bazza. And after that, it's the big one, Krista. It's the Fumble Club.
Very excited about that one. It's always fun to watch the Fumble Cup being played.
So when was the last time you played in the Fumble Cup?
I don't remember. I haven't been playing in majors for a long time.
Can we entice you into this one?
It's not impossible.
Good, because I like a challenge. You have to bring flings.
I don't think I have a halfling team at all. I don't think I've ever made one.
I've had a few. And as much as I love halflings, and they are good fun, I can't play them for more than 5 or 6 games in a row. So I was thinking the other day that with all these esports and things around, and Blood Bowl kind of growing, and not necessarily Fumble, but in Blood Bowl in general, do you think we'll ever get some kind of Blood Bowl type film movie out there?
I don't think so. I think it's extremely unlikely.
It'd be good though, wouldn't it? I know it's really niche, but it would be great to see.
Yeah, perhaps. But the problem is that it's making a movie is a very, very expensive process. And I don't think that there is enough interest to get your money back. Unless, I mean, of course, you could do something very, very low budget. But I don't know. I don't think so.
I'll have to do one of those flick book things with little matchstick people. That's about as far as my budget can stretch.
Yeah.
Okay, Stride is back in, so we can pick up the action, hopefully. We shall see. Hang on. Okay, he's back, so we can carry on. So just as a recap, it's turn 2 of overtime. The Nurgle Dominik's team received. They're pushing forwards. There was a break on the north flank from Dom, and Strider managed to come back and just force him back down to the middle, and that's where we're picking up the game now.
So we're expecting another passive turn, I think, from Strider at this point. I don't see an obvious way to get to the ball. So I think that Strider will be taking it calm and just staying back a bit and see what Dominik does in his next turn.
Okay, so Stride has put his Tomb Guardians in pairs.
Yeah, and he opened up a bit to the north, maybe tempting Dominik to push up. And there's still some space south as well. So Dominik has 2 choices at this point. Or maybe north seems the better choice again. So we'll see. Is it going to be going back up and down all the time for a few turns now? Until something lucky happens with the dice either way?
Yeah, and that's the thing with overtime, isn't it? Sometimes you feel a bit rushed to score. Okay, well, that's the beast tied up for next game, next turn anyway. It looks like he's going to drive south. Oh, no, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. What's he doing?
Yeah, it's a good point, Gritter, and that's what we've been trying to see if Strider would do all game, about tying players up. So they've either got to take a block action. So if they're tied up, they can't move. And I think what Strider's done is given Dom too much movement this game. It's now not looking very good for Strider, is it? I think Dominik's in a very clear position here.
Yeah, that last dodge was really helpful. Yeah, we're looking at a break tackle into 3 tackle zones here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's his only option now. If he doesn't, he's going to struggle to stop him anyway.
Ooh.
And he can't dodge the throw Rara out because he's got his on-diving tackle. So it's going to have to be 4+ with reroll, 1 dice.
And yeah, he needs to get that player down. He's putting his Tomb Guardian in a really sketchy position to be served.
So 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 dice. He's got 2 go for it to hit the pesty as well, hasn't he? Ooh. Okay. Certainly worth a shot. It's unlucky that the block dice didn't come.
Yeah, it was a good shot, but
I think that's probably it now. Oh, okay. That helps.
that's
A little
interesting.
bit.
Yeah, but he needs to put him into harm's way, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, far from impossible to get through this, but certainly helps.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting him to use the GFIs there, but he did. So well done, Dominik.
Yeah.
Dominik wins. Good game.
He had the reroll available there.
He
so
did have the reroll, yeah. So it was worth a try. Unlucky. Commiserations to Strider. Kemri will stay unforlorn for another major.
Yeah.
But
I
we will
think
move
that
on.
I think Strider played a fairly decent game. He could have done slightly better, I think, by being not so scared of losing his players.
Yeah, I think he was probably right in hindsight. Probably right to leave those players down. But like you, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he would have needed to be a bit more aggressive, especially in the second half,
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
push forward and tie up some of Dominik's players.
Yeah, of course. So Dominik's through to the last 4 of the GLT finals. I wonder if he's thinking about what secret weapons he's going to have on his team. There is another game on tomorrow, which is my game versus Joss's Lizard Man. So that should be a good crack. And other than that, Krista. I see, I nearly got it right then the first time, and I changed it to the wrong one. Is there anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
No, thank you very much for doing this with me, and thank you for the people who are listening in.
Yeah, brilliant. We'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.